Today's video, I'm back out on the range with the 22 ARC. I'm going to be putting some more rounds on it, shooting some more groups here at 100 yards, and getting my scope zeroed. This scope has kind of been floating around on several different rifles here for the last month. This is going to be its semi-permanent home, so I want to go ahead and get it zeroed. I may even zero the dot, and then probably go out to the steel range and shoot some groups at 500. But just wanted to bring you along. I'll be shooting two 5-round groups of this factory V-match stuff, and then I'll be shooting 2 5-round groups of this Hornady Black stuff at 100 yards. These two, when I shot the first groups, the point of impact was pretty close, so I'd like to shoot it, see if I can get a good tight zero for both of them that's hopefully the same, and get it all set up. So we'll go ahead and get started. Some pretty interesting results, to say the least. So starting out my first group here, my first 5-round group with the V-match, this was my aiming point, and these 5 hit basically straight down, which is kind of what I saw in my initial group testing video. And then the second group, this was my aim point, and I fired another 5-round group of the V-match, but I switched to a different box of ammunition. I wanted to see if I switch just a different box that I picked up on a different day, if that would change my point of impact, and it did by a lot. So after shooting those, I went ahead and went back and shot a third group of the V-match. And this was back to my original box, and this was my aiming point here, and I got basically the same results as the first group. So I just wanted to make sure that was consistent. It wasn't just the barrel heating up, but it was actually a point of impact shift based on 2 different boxes of ammunition. So I went ahead and shot up the rest of that first box, zeroing my red dot, and now I'm going to go ahead and shoot this stuff from the same box out at 500 yards. But after I shot the V-match stuff, I came down here, and this was my point of aim, and I shot a 5-round group of the Hornady Black, and that's this group here. So I'm offset to the right. This was about a half a mil at 100. So I came over here, and I held this dot, and I shot another 5-round group, and this is that group there. I had a pretty high flyer there. So what I decided to do in order to shoot it on out further and not have to mess around with stuff is I went ahead and zeroed to this ammo, which is what I'm going to shoot the V-match. So I clicked over 2/10 of a mil left, and that puts me at a 7/10 of a mil offset for the Hornady Black, but they're going to share this elevation. So I put that into my app, so I'll be able to just account for that when I shoot. Forgot to mention, after I made the adjustment to zero my V-match stuff, I went ahead and held on this dot here, and I fired a single round of the Hornady Black. I just wanted to confirm that that right offset was true and not just because the barrel had heated up a little bit. So barrel fully cooled. I made my adjustment, shot here, and it's basically exactly 7/10 of a mil to the right. So confirmed, and that'll work for me on steel. I'm a little disappointed in the in that dramatic point of impact shift with the factory ammunition, but that just says to me that I'm going to get a chance to really improve on this stuff with some hand loads. Another thing I'll mention about the factory ammo, and I don't know, I let all the brass lay on the ground together and I went and picked it up, and I don't know if it was the V-match or if it was the black. I suspect it was the V-match. I had a Pierce primer, so they're loading this factory stuff pretty hot, and based on the groups I'm seeing, I think maybe they're trying to chase speed a little more than precision. But next up, I'm going to go to my steel range. I'm going to put one shot at 400 yards with both these ammos, and then I'm going to shoot a 5-round group on my 500-yard target. Hopefully I can get on. I've only got 6 rounds left of this, so hopefully I can get a group on, all on the target. We'll go ahead and do that. Now, to guesstimate my velocity to start out here on the steel, I'm basically going to try to take the lessons that I learned from the 6-arc and sort of apply them to here. So box velocities are 24-inch barrel velocities, and the Hornady Black is 3,075 feet per second, and the V-match is listed at 3,300 feet per second. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to just take 225 feet per second off of these velocities, and hope that that lines up pretty well with my 18-inch barrel. So that's what I'll be assuming to start out with, and we'll see how close we get. First up is going to be the V-match. Like I said, I'm going to shoot one round at 400 just to get on, and then I'm going to shoot a 5-round group at 500. Starting out at 400 yards with the 62 grain V-match ammo, I'm estimating 3,075 feet per second. It's calling for a elevation adjustment of 1.4 mils. Not the results I was expecting. It's been a little bit confusing with the way this rifle is shooting this ammo today, but the box lists 3,300 feet per second, and I ended up accounting for a total of 1.8 mils of elevation, which would put my velocity somewhere in the 2,800 feet per second range, which is a full 500 feet per second less than the listed box velocity. So I'm going to take that information and go ahead and move on to 500 and see if we can get some on. All right, at 500 yards, I'm going to go ahead and dial 2.7 mils, and I'm going to hold about 3/4 of a mil left for wind, and we'll see what happens. Managed to get the 3rd round on there. Unfortunately, that was the last round in that box of ammunition. I don't have another box of that same lot number ammunition, but I do have 3 boxes that have a matching lot number. So I'm going to load some of that up, take a few more shots here. It'll be more relevant to get an idea of what this ammunition is anyway, because this is what I have. So take a few more shots. Based on a 2850 velocity, 2.7 mils of elevation, and a 3/4 mil wind hold, those 3 rounds hit pretty much exactly where I expected. It seemed like that first box of ammunition, I was just chasing it all over the place, and it was kind of hard to figure out. But I'm going to go ahead and see if I can get on at 400 with the Hornady Black, and see if I can shoot a group at 500 with that. Starting off at 400 yards with the Hornady Black, the 75 grain ELDMs. I estimated a velocity of 2750. That's calling for 1.9 mils here at 400 yards, so we'll see if we can get on. Well, I was worried that would happen. I forgot to take into account my offset on my zero, so I did have to hold a little bit low. So I'm going to bump my velocity up a little bit and be sure and account for that offset and move on to 500. I've got 3 rounds left. See if I can get them on the target. Okay, I plugged in 2850 for my velocity, which would be wild if that's the case, since that's what I figured the 62s are doing. But it is what it is. I'm gonna hold that offset for windage, and we'll send a couple and see if we can get on. Elevation was spot on. Didn't get a hit until the third one there. First shot I couldn't see exactly where it landed, so I didn't hold far enough left, but elevation spot on, and about a 1/2 mil wind hold. Well, this one's a head scratcher. I've got 2 different ammos here, 62 grain, 75 grain. Box velocity on the 62, like I said, is 3,300 feet per second. 3,075 on the 75 grain ELD match. I got hits running the exact same velocity out of both of these at 500 yards. 2850 gives me 2.6 mils on the 75s, 2.7 mils on the 62s. They hit exactly the same spot. I mean, I'm going to keep shooting it. Maybe there's something wrong here. I don't think so, but based on that, I don't know why anybody would buy this. That's a strange one. We'll see you in the next one. Thanks for watching.